If it's raining, you're going to get wet. If it's hot, you're going to sweat. If it's cold, you're going to be chilly. That's what you got to expect out of this day. And it could be a great day. I mean, you could have a great day and just laugh and cut up and have a good time. And that's just what makes this job so great, is you never know what to expect.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bottled Up. I'm your host, Andrew Allen, and today I am thrilled to introduce two remarkable individuals who embody the heart and soul of Allen Beverages. Joining us today is Mr. Mike Hinton and Mr. Jeff Weatherford, both of whom have dedicated decades of their lives to the company. Mike Hinton is a legend at Allen Beverages for an impressive 35 years. His journey from trainee to supervisor exemplifies the opportunities within our company and his unwavering commitment. Similarly, Jeff Weatherford, with 21 years of incredible service, has risen through the ranks to become an area manager, overseeing a vast network of locations and ensuring smooth operations. In today's episode, we will dive into their rich histories with the company, explore the ins and outs of their jobs, and gain some insights into the ever-evolving world of the soft drink industry. From the challenges of managing extensive territories to the importance of cultivating strong customer relationships, Mike and Jeff will share their invaluable experiences and lessons learned. So let's pop open a Pepsi and get ready for a fun and inspirational conversation you don't want to miss. Today I have two very special guests. These two gentlemen work for Allen Beverages and have worked for this company for decades. Today we have Mr. Mike Hinton and Mr. Jeff Weatherford. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what we're going to do today is I'm going to kind of get into a little bit of what it is, your responsibilities here at Allen Beverages, talk a little bit about your history with the company, kind of give the listener an inside peek behind the scenes of what we do and kind of what our culture is like, and talk about some history. Both of you have both been with the company for decades, so y'all both have seen everything there pretty much is to see when it comes to the soft drink business. So let's go ahead and get started with Jeff. Jeff, give a little bit of insight on how long you have worked for Allen Beverages and some of the jobs that you've had.
I've been with Allen Beverages for 21 wonderful years. I started in 2003 I came in actually as a trainee, started that day. A route had opened up that day and started as a route driver. I went from a route driver to a salesman, from a salesman to a merchandiser, from a merchandiser to a supervisor, and then I took another step here to area manager.
Okay, and for the listener, an area manager is the way that our business is split up with responsibilities is we have a large format and a small format area manager. So small format area manager, which is Jeff's responsibilities and position, is Jeff is over anything that is smaller than a grocery store and a club store like Sam's. So yeah. Jeff is over all of the Dollar Generals, which we have almost 110 of those here on the coast in our area.
112 coming soon.
Yes. Yep. Always another one coming soon.
Yes.
Jeff is also over all of the local and chain gas station stores and smaller grocery locations. So he has a very large footprint. He has hundreds of locations that he's in charge of. So that's a pretty big responsibility. So Mike, let's go ahead and go into a little bit of your history with the company. You're a supervisor here at Allen Beverages, and you have been with the company for how many years?
35 years.
Mike is the one supervisor I have, and this is some bragging rights for him. Mike is the one supervisor I have that has been with the company consecutive years in a row. So, yeah. Mike, you've been with the company for 35 total years, and all of those years have been spent at this exact same company.
Oh, yes, it's a good company to work for, and I enjoy it. It's just the atmosphere and how everybody gets along. So that's a great thing for me.
Nobody likes a bragger. So
that's right. That's right. Well, Mike and Jeff both have had the luxury of coming up and starting out with the company just how anybody else would start. They both came in as a trainee. They both started on route trucks and merchandising, which is the ladies and gentlemen who pull up the grocery stores and merchandise and build displays in Walmarts and grocery stores. And I have had the pleasure of being a kid working with both of them and growing up knowing them. They've known me for decades, and it makes it really, really special to be able to work with people who saw me as a teenager and an adolescent. And they both of these guys have taught me a lot when it comes to the soft drink business and how to service a customer and the way to manage and kind of hold yourself to a certain standard when it comes to servicing the customer, learning how to manage employees, that kind of thing. So let's go ahead and get a little bit into your responsibilities, Mike, because you're a supervisor and you have a geographical area. What are you over?
I'm over Jackson County and George County. And what I do, I go out and I get with my customers, make sure everything's done, make sure they're getting serviced properly, and, ask for space and place coolers and all that, and just, get my guys doing the thing they're supposed to do.
Exactly right. So it's a very interesting thing when you can tell someone and be honest with them that if they start off here as a trainee, as Jeff said that he did, you can basically hire in on the lowest level and reach a supervisor, manager, area manager role. It's 100% possible. We only promote with this company from within. We're not going to hire somebody outside the company who doesn't know the culture, doesn't know how we operate, to be in charge of you. If you're a route guy and you've been here for 7-8 years, your boss isn't going to be a guy who's been hired on from the outside. It's going to be somebody you've already worked with. And I think that's one of the things I really, really try to hold true to, is only promote from within. So exactly. Which one of the jobs that you guys have had, whether it be route guy, merchandiser, that kind of thing, which one of the jobs do you think was the most challenging, and which one of the jobs do you think is it was the best job that you've done?
Mm-hmm.
Or your favorite? Let's start with you, Mike.
I would consider pre-sales. When I made a salesman, I was happy. I was proud of myself that what I went through to make it that way. So I'd say pre-salesman.
Okay. What about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I agree with Mike. I'd say pre-salesman was probably my favorite, because like Mike said, and you got to work hard to get that position. Those positions don't come open that often. And, you just interacting with the customers, and, the day is never the same. It's always different. It's not like an assembly job where you do something specific every day, or whatever. This is something that the day is just challenging. You meet and greet with a lot of different people, interact with a lot of different people. And, it's just, that's what makes it exciting. It rains one day, the sun's shining one day, you can have a good day, a bad day. You just never know what the day is going to bring.
Yeah. And a lot of what you're saying is, and a lot of what people have to understand when it comes to this business, is we might be a distributor and we might have a product and a name on the door, but a lot of what we do is relationship building. And as you're a pre-seller, the most important thing that they can understand is that your job is to manage the relationship with the store owner or the decision maker of that account. And that is basically what can make or break you on a pre-sale route, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to have a lot of patience, you got a lot of good people out there. You know this, Mike. You got a lot of good people out there, some wonderful people. You got people that are, having bad days. So basically they want you to have a bad day. So,
yep.
And that's what makes it, more challenging, I think, is just, the mindset that you got to have, that day or what the day may bring.
Well, since both of you have said that pre-sale is probably the position that you both really, really liked the most, explain the differences to someone who doesn't know the inside. Explain the differences of what it was like pre-selling when y'all did it compared to what it is now.
Well, be honest, back then we didn't have many, products that we have now, but it was challenging. I mean, you got to deal with Coke and everybody else. So it was interesting, but like now we have so many SKUs. Oh man, it's harder now than it was when I started. I'll just put it that way. It's a lot. It's more stores, and it's just a lot of things we have to do and the salesmen have to do. So I understand what they go through.
It's like the market has grown so much. When me and Mike were coming up through the business, I mean, it was, just for instance, like Dollar General. I mean, we didn't even service Dollar General when we
No,
were
we didn't have.
when we were pre-selling, and then finally we took it on in our division, and we had what I think it was 52 stores at the time when we took it over, and now we got 110, 112 coming. And I agree with Mike. We didn't have half the products that we got now, and then a lot of it, now everything's scanned and done through a computer. I mean, me and Mike took orders on paper. We had a route book that you flip through that had the name of the store and each product they sold, and you were able to mark that down and do bill twos and stuff in the route books and stuff.
Right.
Even though we had, more accounts at that time per salesman, because we didn't have as many salesmen as we do now, we might have, 40 stops we were pre-selling a day, compared to now, the average is probably 12, but it's because we had less products and, less responsibility with computers and stuff like that you have now.
Yeah, I do think that the job's a lot more complex than it was back then. I remember even when I got out of school and came on full time in 2010, we were still, I think we were using handhelds, but it wasn't the same way it is today. And I'm thinking about the amount of packages we've gained in 15 years, and it's kind of interesting, but the group that are pre-selling today, technology is not something that really bothers them. And I think the platform that we use right now, it's called VIP. The platform we use now kind of gives them some extra tools and shows them volume counts, shows them averages. But there's some things that will always remain the same when it comes to pre-selling, and that's the people, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If a customer knows that Pepsi pre-seller is going to take care of them, and they know, hey, they know that, hey, listen, my guy on 102 or 103, because the pre-sale job is just expanded out. He's my guy. I don't have to worry about him. He's going to make sure I'm handled. He's going to rotate. He's going to do all that. That's the things that are always going to remain the same no matter what the technology is.
And honestly, I believe that even though pre-sale was better for me at the time compared to now, but it's probably one of the hardest jobs also on top of that, because you just have to keep up with so much.
Yes.
We used to just make notes and jot it on a piece of paper and all that. We didn't have all that fancy technology that we have now that kind of manages and keeps up with it for you now.
Right.
But, mentally, it's probably, I definitely would say it's the hardest job here.
Oh yeah. Right now, I don't think I'd enjoy it too much right now.
I really don't. From where we came from a long time ago, I don't think I would enjoy it at all, to be honest with you.
No.
That's just me. I'm old school. So.
Yeah, and that's a culture thing, and that's an age thing, guys. No offense to you fellas. Y'all been in the game a long time.
Yeah,
Between the two of you is over 50 years of soft drink experience. 56 years. Mm-hmm. And it's being working for a company and my middle managers, which is y'all are the ones that run this facility. I might be the one who's making the final call, but at the end of the day, I depend upon y'all to make the right call. A lot of times the right call is made before I'm even aware that a decision is needing to be made. So I think a lot of that comes from trust. How I am. Y'all have known me a long time. I remember being 16-year-old kid, and Mike was running a truck in Loosedale, up in George County, and I'd never been up in that area before. And I remember I was helping him on a truck, and we're in the middle of nowhere, and I look around. The only thing I can see is cow pastures, and we're at a gas station.
Yes.
And I was just like, take a wrong turn up there, you in trouble.
Exactly right. You're going to drive into Alabama is what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's just, I think the culture of how we operate is very special as well, because it is, people always say, oh, it's a family-owned business. It's a family-owned business. Well, there are a lot of family-owned businesses that try to make themselves more corporate than local. They want to try to legitimize themselves mentally and say, hey, we're a company, we're a corporation. We have to perform and act like a corporation. But I think the more that you start walking down that road, the less of that hometown family feel you lose that. And I think that we've heard this from people from outside the company who come in, like our Pepsi reps and our KDP, Keurig Dr. Pepper reps. When they come here, they can pick up on it immediately. It's that we are pretty much as close as you can get to being a family when it comes to all the supervisors. We hang out with each other on the weekends. We help each other out if you have to move. A lot of the guys are taking their personal time or using assets that the company owns to move. So I think that's kind of what makes this place kind of special.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm still here.
Well, I know that Mike, your 35th year was last year or year before last?
No, it's this year. I started in 1990, so this would be my 35th year.
Okay. Yeah, man. I was 4 years old when you started.
Yeah, I started in the vending business in 1990, but it was with other distributors.
You were on which company did you work for, Jeff? You were on a beer route.
Right. I started in the actual business. It's the same business, just different packages. I started with FEB in 1990, which was the Miller Company, and worked for them for several years, and went to the Budweiser Company, which was Rex Distributing at the time. And then after that, I came here. So it's been a long road. It's been a long road, but it's just like anything else. It's got its ups, it's got its downs, it's got its good times and bad times, and I'm just proud to be a part of this company now, and just wish I would have started here like Mike did, to start off with. But, the roads brought me here, and that's all that matters.
Yep, this is where we're at. So I want to kind of ask you guys what you think the most challenging thing of each one of your jobs is, the jobs you currently have. Mike, let's start with you. What do you think your biggest challenge when it comes to performing your duties here? What do you think that is?
I would say getting with my customers, getting a relationship with them, making sure that everything's right, and really getting my guys to do what they need to do, and showing them, the ways of the world and all that. And it's getting my guys to do their thing. And that makes my job easier. I told them they make my job easier, I'll make theirs easy. So that's my challenging thing there.
Well, I think that for those of y'all who do not know, and a lot of the vendors, a lot of the customers who I've dealt with Mike in the past, and Jeff can attest to this, I've never seen a man who can go out on a route truck with a white shirt on, work just as hard as anyone else on that truck, and he comes back and that shirt's perfectly white.
I don't know how it happened, but
I never.
That's just me.
But the thing about it is that you're holding those cases out away from your shirt.
Yes.
I don't know what he's doing, man. I ain't never seen nothing like it. I've worked with Mike on a route truck several times, several years, several summers.
Yes.
And I don't get it. I mean, I look just wore out. My shirt's hanging out. I got dirt and grease and sweat all over me, and I look like I've been rolling around on concrete. And Mike looks the same way as he did when he came.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He looks like he just came onto the route.
Yes. Shirt still clean, still pressed, shirt tucked in perfectly. And I look like I've been in a fight or something. And Mike looks the same way. That's the secret that I don't think we'll ever know around.
No, I don't think
that's the military background.
Yeah, Mike, give us a little bit of insight, because you were in the Army.
Yes.
And give us a little bit of insight, and also know what your direction was going towards before you came to work here. Give us a little bit of the history of what you did before you came here.
Well, when I started out, right out of high school, I started working with Crystal Ice Company. It was a company over in Tea Garden Road, and I started there. I worked there after school, and then when I got out of school, I joined the military. And I went over. I happened to go to Germany, and just not thinking about it. I'm 18 years old. I ain't never been out of Mississippi, and here I am overseas, over in Germany. I'm like, oh man, I'm not gonna like this, And I adjusted to it. It was good, and I became, I went there. I went basic in Fort Leonard Wood. That's in Missouri. I went basic there. I left out of basic, and I went to Germany. Stayed in Germany a couple of years, and when I left Germany, I ended up at Fort Knox, Kentucky, and that's where I left that. That's why I left the Army in Fort Knox, Kentucky.
So you did your 4-year stint and got out?
Right. I was gonna re up in it, but I was gonna get married, but that didn't work out, so I didn't go back. So I got lonely. I'm tired. You wanted to have somebody you come home to, so that didn't happen. So I got out.
Okay. How long after you left the military was it that you started working here?
Okay, well, when I left the military, I went back to the ice company. My old boss, he said that because he was in the military, so he liked that I went in, and he said, when you get back, just come see me, and you get your job back. So I worked there for I got out in 82, so I worked there till 88, and then when I left there, that's when I came to Pepsi in 90.
So you worked at the ice company in between Army and here?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Jeff, you started, I know you graduated from D'Iberville. You're a D'Iberville boy.
Yes, sir. Warriors all the way.
And
I hate it for you.
Yeah. Mike, for the listener, Mike's a Biloxi guy.
Yeah.
He's the Indian. So,
yes.
Yeah.
But you started with the beer side almost around the same time that Mike started with us.
Right.
So, since you guys have both been in the vending game for 35 years, what do you think has changed the most in those 35 years when it comes to working the trucks and everything else, and the labor and everything? What do you think has changed the most?
I would say probably technology has probably changed the most, and the way you work the stores. Mike understands where I'm coming from on this part, but everything's computers and stuff now. Used to you would just walk in, hand them the receipt, and go down the list and go. But now you gotta scan everything in, and it's got to be done. You got ASN, you've got different sheets, and the way you get checked in and stuff like that, which makes it a lot harder now and more time consuming on the way the actual accounts were worked. I mean, back in the day, me and Mike had a pricing gun, and you didn't leave the warehouse without a pricing gun.
Oh, yes.
These kids today don't even know what a pricing gun is.
Yeah, so I had a little bit of experience with a pricing gun because whenever I came back, we still had a customer that wanted you to price everything. So
Oh yeah.
A pricing gun, for those of you who are listening, it was a little sticker gun that you would adjust the price of, and you had to stick each bottle in a case.
Yes.
Right.
So that definitely, that's one of the things I'm glad that is not around anymore.
Oh yeah, especially like at Piggly K&B, you had to double price it. Yeah, you
sure did.
You got one gun in each hand. You got to double price it. You got to price the regular price and the sale price.
Because one gun was orange, had orange labels in it, and one gun had blue labels in it.
Right.
And you had to put both labels on.
You got to peel it all off.
Yeah, when the sale was over, you had to go back and peel them off.
Yeah.
God.
On top of that. So
well, I mean that it might be more of a manual process, but that's still a pain in itself. There's there's different kinds of pains nowadays. Exactly. But that's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Out of all the products that we have handled and all the things that we've carried, because there's a lot of products, Mike and Jeff know this.
Yeah.
So a lot of products that corporate comes out with that they throw it against the wall and it doesn't stick. Out of all the discontinued brands that we've carried, which one of the ones is your favorite and you wish that we still carried?
The one I liked the most was the Kickstart. When they came out in the slim cans, when we first got it, one of my favorite was Kickstart Kiwi. I think
I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about the strawberry kiwi with coconut.
Yes. I used to love that. But it seems like what we love here in the South doesn't really work in the North, so Pepsi discontinued that brand. But that was probably one of my favorite brands we had.
I liked the pineapple orange mango one.
Yes, I did too. That would be one. Yeah, just like what Jeff said. Yes, but one thing I'm glad we got rid of is the 3 liters.
A 3 liter.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man.
Those were right before my time. I think y'all had dropped that package right before I came in. But yeah, those I would say the 3 liters, and then you remember when we first got the gallon tea.
Yes.
We got those. They used to come in a 6. They were 6 to a box.
Yep.
Yeah.
And those things were like 60-something pounds.
They had handles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Now those were some bad boys.
Oh yeah.
Those were. So
yeah, I think Mike, the 3-liter, how many were in a case?
Oh, it was 6, Andrew, and we ran them at I'll never forget it, at A&P, 99 cents. And I had 2 A&Ps on my route one day. I had like 160 some cases of 3 liters.
God.
And they came in boxes before they came in the shell. I ate it Mondays.
How many could y'all roll on a dolly at that time?
8.
8.
Yeah, and once they came in the shells, plastic shells, you could probably do 10, but I wouldn't try it. I mean, those 3 liters was pain.
You better hope you're on a flat surface rolling.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in Wiggins with Mike, and I was still kind of learning. It was probably 2010, 2011. Yeah. And we were at a stop called Windmill in Wiggins, and Mike was on one side of the truck unloading. I was on the other side of the truck, and I was trying to stack 8 to 10 2-liters on a stand-up, and I had it all tied in. I was proud of myself, and I was like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and roll this. So I cracked it over, started pushing it through the parking lot. There's tons of potholes in this parking lot.
Oh, yeah, you probably did on the worst parking lot in the world.
I told him, I said, don't do that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to Mike. I should have, which is, if anybody listening to this, if someone's older than you and has been doing this for a long time, you're not right. You don't know what you're doing. Listen to the people who have been doing it for years and years and years. They'll show you the right way. I did not listen. So I started trying to push it, and they started falling apart. So I had to let go one of the handles of the stand-up to try to hold it together. And the whole stand-up started falling, and it basically grabbed onto my pants and started ripping the pleat. I had pleated pants on. Started ripping the front of the pleat off of my pants. And I said, Mike, and he came around the corner and said, I told you.
I just stepped right over him.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even pick it up. I stepped right over him and went inside the store.
And I dropped all the 2 liters. Some of them busted, and then we had to, take them off the ticket. But I mean, it's things like that that I'll always remember, and then Jeff and I have worked on trucks.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch. We had some heavy, heavy, heavy days in the wintertime and in the summer when it's raining. I mean, it was a lot of fun because if you're with someone who is down to work and you're with someone who knows what they're doing and can have a good attitude about it, it's not a bad job, honestly.
No.
It's physical, and you feel like you've accomplished something when you do it right, which I kind of enjoy. I enjoyed all that. And then you throw the people aspect into it, and some of the people are just great out there, that understand that you're trying to do a job, that you're trying to be professional, and and getting to work with good people who know what they're doing, who can teach you something. Those are the lessons in life that kind of got me where I am today. And I'll always thank you guys for that, for just the care that you guys gave me, because, being the boss's son, there's always kind of a stigma around that, right? It's like, normally the old adage is like, oh, he's the owner's son. He can do whatever he wants. He'll probably just be sitting in the truck. Why is he doesn't have to roll anything in? Well, I kind of ran in the opposite direction with that.
Yeah.
I always tried to do more. I always tried to work harder. I always tried to take the time to make sure when I left the store it was perfect. I remember when I first started working for Charles, my job was to go and pull up the commissary out on Keesler Air Force Base. And it took me forever because I was trying to make everything look perfect. And Charles came in one day. I've been in the store for probably 3.5 hours. He came in, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm working the store. He's like, you need to hurry up.
Yeah, because you got other stores you got to do.
You have 3 other stores. You haven't even hit your Walmart yet. And I was like, oh, my bad, man. I'm trying to make it look good. He's like, you need to go ahead and go. And like he taught me a lot. And both of you have taught me the same thing. It's, it's speed comes with doing it, right?
Right.
And you're not going to be fast. And if any of these guys who start this, who want to come and work for us, and guys who currently work for us, they have to understand that you're not going to be super duper fast when you start, but you need to learn how to do it right. And then you'll start doing it right fast.
Yeah. Right. And then speed comes. Speed's the last thing you basically learn, but
you can't teach
consistency that will prevail overall. If you're good and you work at a steady pace and you don't make mistakes, that makes you faster than you could be fast. I mean, lightning fast, and make a bunch of mistakes, and that'll cost you more time during the day than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. And the number one thing I learned too was being like kind of training guys on a route, or being a helper on a route, especially in Dollar General. What I would look at, what the trainee or the guy I was looking at, what is he working on? What he's not working on is what you need to be working on.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
Do the opposite of what they're doing in the store, and
Right.
that'll help you save time.
Exactly. So, well, what is each one of y'all's the current brands we carry now? What is the y'all's favorite brand that we carry currently?
I like the Dole lemonade.
Okay, straight up.
Right. Yep. Sure do.
And I like Canada Dry and Mug Ruby.
You've always loved Canada Dry.
Yes, Canada Dry is probably one of my favorites.
We have a lot of interesting stuff that's going on this year, man. It's been kind of an interesting year, and I'm hoping that Q4 of this year is going to we're going to kind of go out blowing and going. But of the amount of products that we've carried and where we've been, even since 2020. I mean, I remember 2020 is when we switched our back end system. We picked up Gatorade in 21. It's just this business constantly seems to be changing every year. It's some new challenge, some new problem to solve. What do you think it's going to look like in the next 5 years?
You're gonna have to build another warehouse.
Yeah, I'm saying yes. It's going to be.
If you want to know my honest opinion, I hate to tell you that. I know it's going to cost you money, but in the direction we're going and the packages, I mean, honestly, it's my job to know, but I'm not even sure on all the packages that we carry now because we pick up some, drop some, and I can't remember if we still have that flavor or don't have that flavor. And, load sheets, when me and Mike were doing it a long time ago, load sheets were on one piece of paper.
Right, one side.
One side. Now you can barely read the load sheet and it's on front to back. That's how many products have expanded since we've been in this business.
And that's not everything that Pepsi carries, though. We carry those, so
yeah,
I think we carried everything that they wanted us to.
I do think that's managing the SKUs that you have is a challenge because a lot of times, and the customer won't know this, they just go into a store and buy it. But with our two largest accounts, as far as chains are concerned, is Dollar General and Walmart. That makes up about 50% of our business.
Yeah.
And normally, if those packages are authorized and have spots in those stores, we're going to carry it.
Exactly.
So, SKU management is a challenge, So I think that we just need to. It's just one of those things you have to constantly stay on top of.
And we were looking at some this morning. More that's coming now.
Yeah. What quick question to both of y'all as well. If y'all could have any advice to these new guys that are coming up, these new employees that you're bringing on, that y'all are normally interviewing or your supervisors below y'all are interviewing, what advice would you give anybody coming into the soft drink business or the vendor business in general? Let's start with you, Mike, and then we'll go to Jeff.
Okay, well, I would let them know, right offhand. I mean, it's a hard job, but you can make a good living here. You just it's going to take you about a month or so to catch on. You got to read the brands and all that. But if you just put your mind to it, and it's good. I mean, it's hard though. I'll just tell them that for sure. It's a hard job to do.
So basically it would just be, I think find out whether or not this is something you like, if you enjoy the labor and you enjoy being outside and dealing with people.
Right.
And
with the heat, yes. I tell them it's like the mailman, rain, sleet, or snow. You got to, your drinks got to go.
All right, Jeff, what about you?
Yeah, that's when I'm interviewing somebody, I talk to them about it and I tell them that, the one thing about this job is we don't hit a clock, you come in at a certain time and like I tell them, I can't tell you what time you're going to get off. There's a lot of factors in that. You could come in here one day and you could work 5 hours and you could, you may work 16 hours. It just depends on how the day goes. And, I know that's a shock to some people, but in this business, I mean, you can blink and 2 hours could go by. I mean,
yes.
I've never seen a job where you come in and it's just, you're just looking at your watch like where the time goes, because this day can blow by. And, it's not a bad thing because like I say, you're busy doing stuff and working and, the time can get away from you and stuff like that. Because, I mean, it could be, like Mike said, it's, if it's raining, you're going to get wet.
Yes.
If it's hot, you're going to sweat. If it's cold, you're going to be chilly. That's what you got to expect out of this day. And it could be a great day. I mean, you could have a great day and just laugh and cut up and have a good time. And that's just what makes this job so great, is you never know what to expect.
Oh yeah, 100%. So one last question to each of you, and then we'll sign off, and I appreciate y'all's time. But of all the times y'all have been on route trucks and pre-selling and dealing with customers, what's the most memorable moment that y'all are willing to share? Each experience, memorable moment that you're willing to talk about and kind of share with the listener. Jeff, let's start with you.
All right. I remember one time that we were in a Circle K, and we were taking a display down, and I'm going back to the aspect of when you were talking about 2 liters and all that and everything. And we were tearing down a Coke display and putting up our display, and the store was just absolutely packed. And me and Mike were in there, and yeah, you remember now, Mike?
Yes.
And there was a long line, and there was a guy in line, and he was in, this is no lie, he was in all white. He had on a white shirt, white shorts, white socks, white tennis shoes, and on top of that, he was driving a white Mercedes. And we were taking down a display, and it was a 2 liter. Was it Dr. Pepper, Mike?
It was Dr. Pepper, yes. 2
Was
liters.
it? Okay.
Yes.
It was 2 liter Dr. Pepper. And I did the same thing you did, Andrew. I was in a hurry, and it was just a bad day. And I filled the dolly up and put more 2 liters on there than I should have. Even being experienced, you still make a lot of mistakes in this business. And I did like you. I went and I pulled it back, and I knew better the way I was pulling it back. And when I pulled it back, the whole stack went forward, and all these 2 liters fell, and they hit the ground right by the register. And when they did, one hit right on the cap. And if you've ever dropped a 2 liter, you dropped it on the cap.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it just exploded. And when it did, when it hit the ground, it spun around in a circle, like a fan blade, and it was just spinning, and it spewed all over the people, and especially that guy that was wearing all white and everything. And I couldn't help it. Me, I don't care, but I started laughing. And of course, this dude was highly upset. And I was laughing. And then when I started laughing, I got Mike laughing. Then the whole store started laughing. So this guy was not very happy with me. And all I could do was apologize. And that's all I could do. But I know it didn't fix it. But he was I ruined his outfit. I'm telling you right now. And probably the interior of his Mercedes has probably got Dr. Pepper to this day still on the inside.
Oh yeah, he had stains all over himself. It was so funny.
But
I mean,
it
laugh.
It was an accident, man. Come on now.
Yeah, it was an accident. It was, but it was probably one of the funniest things that I've ever seen when I was with Mike. Several funny things we've done together. But
Mike, what about you, man?
Oh, I had one simpler to that. Back in the days at Walmart, we had in the front of the registers where the Pepsi and the Coke were, you had to climb up this ladder and you stacked your 2 liters and all that stuff on the top. So I was up there, and like Jeff said, I was stacking it up, and this lady was helping me. She was reaching up. So one fell, and it hit the cap, and it sprayed all over this woman and sprayed all over the drinks and the registers. And I'm standing up there on the ladder looking dumbfounded, like, what happened?
Yeah, and it takes you hours to clean that up. It sprays on everything.
I'll never forget that.
Everything.
I was so embarrassed.
It's the biggest mess you'll ever see.
Oh yeah,
it's 2 liters, man.
I know, and it was just I was so embarrassed.
And you don't realize how much is in a 2 liter until it spills, or you blow a cap off a 2 liter. You're just like, is it ever going to stop?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember something similar, Mike, when we were doing all those Family Dollar resets. Remember when we got into Family Dollar?
Right.
Because there was a period of time where Coke was exclusive in Family Dollar.
Yeah.
And when we went and did the resets and added all our product, Mike, you dropped that 1 2 liter.
Yeah.
And it busted, and it shot underneath all the gondolas, and it shot across 4 aisles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Mike had to mop 4 separate aisles.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
I remember
it sprays on everything. It sprays on the product. It sprays on the cereal. It sprays on everything. And you gotta clean all that up. You could spend hours in the store cleaning.
It did. I mean, you think you got it mopped up, then you look around, there's some seeping back out.
Yeah, I don't wish that on my worst enemy.
No,
Oh
it
yeah.
sucks. And it's embarrassing too because it's an accident and then everyone's watching while this is all happening and they're like, man,
Oh
this
yeah.
guy.
Oh yeah.
Oh
And you
yeah.
want to talk about putting a time crunch in your day. That's a 30-minute problem.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
That's you don't calculate for it. It can ruin
No.
your day.
Oh
It
yeah.
It
can.
can make or break your day for sure.
It can. Well, fellas, I appreciate what you do for this company. I appreciate each one of you. It's y'all are a pleasure to work with. I always tell this to everybody when they ask me what my favorite part about working here and it's the people. And I say this to everybody at Christmas time. I say this to everybody whenever we do our annual raises is that the greatest asset that this company has are the human beings who work for it, and you two are two of the good ones. And I
Thank
appreciate
you.
everything y'all do. And that goes to all my supervisors, and everybody else who works here. But really appreciate y'all's time and kind of insight today and the history that you guys have with this company. And y'all's friendship alone is very special too.
We
Oh
really,
yeah.
I really appreciate it. And thank you for everything. It's an amazing ride, and I'm looking forward to the future and what it brings. I think that's the
Absolutely.
main part.
So thank y'all for the time, Mike and Jeff. And
Yes.
I will holler at y'all later.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Andrew.
Carry
Appreciate
on.
it.
Well, that wraps up another fantastic episode of Bottled Up. I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to both Mike Hinton and Jeff Weatherford for sharing their incredible journeys and insights with us. It is clear that their decades of dedication and expertise have played a pivotal role in shaping the culture and success of Allen Beverages. Looking back on today's conversation, I'd like to highlight three key takeaways. First is the importance of building strong relationships with customers and colleagues, a cornerstone of Mike and Jeff's work ethic, which ensures that every interaction and transaction is grounded in trust and mutual respect. Second, the evolution of technology in the beverage distribution business has transformed how operations are managed, yet the essence of personal connections remains unchanged. Finally, their stories remind us of the value of perseverance and adaptability in an ever-changing food and beverage industry landscape. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge the hard work and dedication of the whole team at Allen Beverages. Whether you're enjoying one of our refreshing products or encountering our friendly staff at a local store, bar, or restaurant, we hope you can see our passion and effort that goes into every bottle we deliver and service. Well, thanks for tuning in to Bottled Up, where we are all about uncorking the stories that shape our coastal home. And remember to always support local businesses, restaurants, museums, and attractions. Cheers. Thanks for listening to the Bottled Up Podcast. Want us to deliver this show to your email inbox as they drop? Want to tell us about how you like the show? Or do you want to tell us about a Gulf Coast business or restaurant that you'd like for us to spotlight in any upcoming episodes? Email Morgan Wheeler at mwheeler, MWHEELER at abevinc.com. That's ABEVINC.com. Want to know more about Allen Beverages and how we work with our clients, partners, and vendors? Check out allenbeverages.com. This show was edited and produced by Johnny Gwynn and Deep Fried Studios.